Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another episode of Latin Dutch. And today we will be preparing a recipe that never fails. This is a guaranteed success at parties and gatherings. And is no other than guacamole. And you wouldn't think that being such an easy recipe is so easy to mess up. But hey, let's go ahead with ingredients. And we start with 6 avocados. These ones with dark skin are possibly the best ones that you could use, as they have a creamy texture and they're full of flavor. The juice of half a lemon, and this is super important to avoid it from oxidizing. About 1 ounce of coriander, and I'm using 8 small tomatoes. These are known as vine tomatoes. A red onion, you could also use white or yellow, but keep in mind they will bring a more intense flavor. 1 teaspoon of dehydrated oregano, and if you can find a Mexican, that's even better. And then we have a special treat, 10 of this Chili de Monte or Chili Pekin. And I know they're not easy to find, but if you can't find them, then we'll just go ahead and replace with whatever other chili of your like, and salt and pepper to taste. Now in our cutting table, we start with the onion. And it's quite important to start with it, so we have a chance to lower to a little bit this abrasive profile with the lemon. And as you can see, I'm chopping it finely. As I chop it, I place it in the bowl that we'll be using to prepare our guacamole. And I'm also helping myself by keeping the onion root to hold it together while I do the chopping. And a typical question I will always get is, can I use yellow or white onion? And the simple answer is absolutely yes. Just keep in mind that each one of them will have a different flavor profile and different strength. Whereas the red onion will be the milder one, followed by the yellow, and then finally the white onion will pack a bigger kick. So if you like the sharper flavors, then go ahead and use the white one. I've also known of some people who likes to wash the onion before using it, so that also miles it a little bit down. Now let's shift our attention to the lemon. And some people would prefer to use lime, but it's just like with the onion, it's a matter of taste, I guess. So I'll stick with the milder flavor. And I'm only using half of it because this one packs lots of juice. With this step, you will be able to manage the raw onion taste, as well as keeping our guacamole from oxidizing. And now let's go to our tomatoes. And my choice of tomato may not be the most obvious one, because I'm using vine tomatoes. And my Mexican friends, please let me know in the comments what do you think about using these ones. So these are small tomatoes, mostly rounded with a bright red color. And it's a little bit larger than the better known cousin, the cherry tomato. And first we cut them in halves so that we can dice them. And this is known as the Macedonia cut. You could also be braver and peel and de-seed them to do a concassé cut, but it's not really necessary. And the flavor profile of this tomato is a bit on the sweeter side, and it is quite fruity. So in my opinion, it goes super good with this dip. And then we add them together with the onions in the bowl. So we move to our avocado. And as I mentioned before, I prefer to use the small and dark skin avocado. So Hass avocados will do perfectly fine here. But others like the bacon avocado or the Pinkerton will also be a perfect fit. Otherwise, keep it simple, use the one that you have available. And as you can see, I cut them in halves first, and then I take them out of the skin with the help of a spoon. The half left with the seed, I place it in my hand and I press a knife against the seed and twist it, and that's it. That simple. Yet I do not recommend to do this at home because it can be quite dangerous. After that, with the help of a fork, I start mashing our avocados, aiming for a rustic puree. And what I mean by that is that I prefer not to go as far as a silky texture, but just keep it on a chunky style. There are also some folks that would use a potato masher, but I'm certain that my Mexican friends would agree that the correct thing is to use a volcanic stone molcajete. Now let's focus on those beautiful chilies. And this is called Chili de Monte. And I can tell you, ever since I tested this, I fell in love with it. They're quite difficult to find outside of Mexico, but if you see them, get them. They have this citrusy, fresh, grassy flavor that is unbeatable. And you see them tiny, but don't be fooled. This pack a spicy punch like no other. Once we clean them, we place them in a mortar. And I use coarse salt and a couple of black peppercorns to grind the chili easier. And just remember, if you don't have them, replace with jalapeno. Or if your family don't like the spicy stuff, just skip them. So now we move to the dehydrated oregano, and we add it to the bowl as well. If you find the Mexican version of oregano, then that will be your better choice. After all the ingredients are in, we proceed to mix well, trying to integrate it all and remembering those onions and tomatoes at the bottom of your bowl. We finally go ahead and finely chop the coriander, preferably removing the thicker stems. And make sure that it's well washed because otherwise it can carry sand and dirt to your guacamole. Add it also to the bowl and mix. And now my friends, we've finished our wonderful recipe. And I hope you enjoyed it at home. And I bet it would be a sensation wherever you take it. And once again, thanks for following our channel, Latin Dutch. Hope to see you in the next one.